Hi. This is another in point with Forin Amghelescu again. The other day, I recently published another video about my feelings about what happened at Malheur National Wildlife Refuge with the Bundys and Ammon and the Hammonds and whatever. And I got some odd responses back, but one of the biggest and most dumb ones was somebody called me a dumbass, a Jane media suck up who believed everything I heard, and I needed to go to some woman's page because I was a fucking tardo who needed to go ahead and get an education. Well, first of all, when you start off like that, you have not got on my good side, and you wasted another opportunity, just like the Bundys did, to get people on their side for their cause. All right? But I did go to the woman's video anyway, and I watched it. And what I watched had me like rolling on the floor laughing so hard because this stupid paranoid bitch was sitting there talking about government-owned land, and the government doesn't have right to own the land. Oh, she's right. The government does not have the right to own the land. But we're not talking about Malheur being government-owned land. Okay, Malheur was set up in 1908 by President Teddy Roosevelt as part of our National Wildlife Refuge and Park System. It is a national park. It is public lands, not government-owned lands, which means that we own we the people. Okay, the people, you said, oh, we're going to take this all back and get the government out of here for we the people. We are the people. Okay? Don't need you running around the fucking National Wildlife Reserve with your goddamn paranoid guns, threatening to start a fight with the people who work there trying to preserve the land, federal employees and National Park System employees who want to make sure that it's available for all of us. Why? Because since it is a publicly owned land, that means you and I and my neighbors and the people on the other side of town and the people that I go to school with, as well as other people in this town that I don't know, and anybody else in Phoenix, Arizona, which is where I happen to be at, can go into publicly owned land as part of our National Park System and Wildlife Reserve to go camping and have lodging available and to go hiking and horseback riding and to see the wildlife and to take the trails and believe that there are places that we should set aside as publicly own land because it is part of our fragile ecosystem and part of this fragile planet that we are not better than, but we are an integral part of. And that some places like these were meant to be preserved so people did not have the right to go in there and seize a piece of property so they could strip it for its resources and turn around and make money off of it. Scusa. Why did it end up in National Wildlife Reserve and National Park? Well, that's a good thing you asked. Let's see. It was because there were many instances of when hunters went in there with their big guns. No, not that big gun. Okay, they went in there with ones that went boom. Never mind. We're not getting into that again. And decided that, oh, look at all the birds. Wow, we can go massive hunting for some incredible bird species. So they went ahead and they kept shooting birds and they shot at the place and didn't stop shooting until there was lead in the air going every direction. And by the time that they were done, they damn near ran several species of bird into extinction. Okay, now why would they do that, you say? Let's see. Was it because they were really hungry and needed to eat? No. Was it because other people were hungry and needed to eat, and they wanted the game meat? No. Was it because it was grossly overpopulated and they had to thin out some of the birds in these species that lived there because it was so grossly overpopulated that they were dying of strange diseases that there was no cure for, and they thought that several species could go extinct? No. Let's see, what was it? Oh, yes. It was because these birds had lots of beautiful feathers, and they damn near ran them into extinction when they shot all the birds, and they decided to go ahead and strip all the feathers off their body and hang on to all these feathers so they could go ahead and put them on the market in places like New York City so they could go ahead and make some money while people actually turn these feathers into women's plumed hats. I swear, my right hand to God. I swear to God, all right? And Teddy Roosevelt said, enough. No. There need to be places set aside that we don't strip and we don't rip the hair out of while we suck all the resources out of it that we can make money on. And he created the national park system, which in turn it was built and helped to be constructed by the Civilian Conservation Corps during the Depression, who built the lodge and the roads inside and made the place what you and I and everybody else can go visit to today. There is a great deal of effort and money being put into the park for its preserve by the Audubon Society, who want to make sure that people like my children and their grandchildren and other people's grandchildren can get in there and enjoy a public park for its natural beauty, so everybody gets to enjoy it, because it's not the government that owns it. It's actually all of us that own it. So you wanted me to get an education because I was a turtle. Why don't you get an education, turtle dumbass? Okay? Because Malheur is a beautiful area. It's gorgeous. And it is part of our national park system, which makes it a national treasure, which makes it publicly owned land, which means it's owned by we, the people, the city, the citizens of the United States of America. Okay? The woman that you sent me to that was rambling on about conspiracy theories about the UN is now going to partner with the U.S. because Loretta Lynch opened up with a speech about how they want equitable sustainability to start and proceed around the world. So I don't know. I was thinking because so we don't actually blow ourselves up and destroy each other off the planet, but somehow to you, dumb broad, that means that that these cities are people are going to come in and people with your little guns. They're going to fucking take your guns. Okay, I'm not against the Second Amendment. Okay, I understand the importance of the Second Amendment. Okay. I am far less worried about a tyrannical government coming in here and taking control and shooting all of us than I am about a bunch of far right-wing, hot-head, idiot, low-intelligence, uneducated, backwoods, hillbilly, deliverance wannabe jerks armed who decide that they want to overthrow the government and impose their own level of tyranny on us. Because I don't know if anybody has noticed, but, okay, all those black people that were shot in the church by Dylan Roof, he wasn't from the left, he wasn't from the center, he was from the right. Okay, those Muslims in San Bernardino who shot a bunch of people, they were also right-wingers. I don't care whether you're right-wing Christian, whether you're right-wing Republican, or whether you're a right-wing Muslim. The point is that everything about the right has gone completely nuts. And there is nothing fucking Christian about the right a bit. Now, you people have no problem with the Constitution when it is something that you want out of it. But when it comes to something like gay marriage or everybody having equal rights, no, you can't have any of that. We need to rewrite the Constitution so it doesn't cover any of that. This is what the Constitution of the United States is. This is what your founding fathers had in mind. This is what Ben Franklin was adamant about, is that he said, we gave you a republic, now let's hope we can keep it. Okay, what he wanted to do was keep it from being taken over by a bunch of nuts when starting with you. Because it belonged to all of us. Our diversity is our strength, not a weakness. Where do you people get your ideas and your logic from? What ass did you pull that one out of? And don't get to try to tell us that it is all about protecting the people and the Constitution and taking back the government for we the people. Okay, that certainly was not your prerogative when you went in and charged the place, and every time you got in front of a cameo, you were talking about the unfair treatment that ranchers were getting. You could have had a lot of people over on your side, and I still fall back on my original argument in the first place. It is because you don't have proper markets for your beef that you're forced to go ahead and like squeeze every drop that you can get out of your land and your ranches, because beef prices are at an all-time high and you're not getting a decent price for it because there's only 4 major meat packing distributors left, and now that they have all consolidated down to 4, you really don't think that they aren't talking to each other, hoping that they can buy for beef for as little as they have to pay so they can go ahead and turn around and charge whatever the fucking market will bear. Oh, mulțumesc lui Dumnezeu! Tu ești Looney Tunes prăjitură totul unde masă de prunz. Looney Tunes fruitcakes out to lunch. And the woman you sent me to, Căcații Arăbea Martin Antrobus drama plină de travestiți merge la ovânzare perucă. She has more fucking drama than a bus full of drag queens heading to a wig and makeup sale. All right, I need to publish this. Okay, rant over. Thank you. Arrivederci. God bless.